Hello, my name is Bryce. I've been coming to Forefront for about 4 or 5 months. When I was about 5 or 6 years old, I was diagnosed with nephrotic syndrome. It's a kidney disease that shuts down your immune system almost completely. The treatments weren't working, we tried everything. And so the way nephrotic syndrome works is my body retained a bunch of sodium. I would blow up. It's a very distinct look on my face whenever it was like at its peak and treatment needed to be done. So it looked like I was going to go to the hospital for about 2 or 3 months, and our church came together and we all did this massive prayer, everybody in church like laying the hands and everything. And the next day I was completely healed. Never really had like a real childhood because I grew up in the hospital, did the majority of all my school in the hospital. So when I got out of the hospital, I didn't really have any friends or anything, and I hung out with my grandmother. At the age of 14, I started drinking, and it was a regular thing, sneaking out of the house. And so I hung out with my grandmother majority of the time growing up until around like 14, 15. I started going to shows in Virginia Beach. I got to the point where I got a fake ID, and that became like a lifestyle, just drinking heavily and going to shows for a long time. But she was in the hospital at the time. I remember I was in a bar, I was drinking, I was drunk, and I couldn't go see her because I couldn't find myself sober enough to go see her. And I got a phone call when I was inside of a bar, and I was in the smoking section. I fell to my knees and was crying. I found out that my grandmother passed away. That led to like a downward spiral, and I probably started drinking every single night for about 4 or 5 years. After that, I found myself homeless, living in an old theater on the ocean front. I kind of hit my rock bottom, and I started going in another route towards like meditation and like I guess like Buddhism. And one day my girlfriend asked me to come with her to Forefront to try it out, and I was real hesitant at first. I wasn't feeling it, but I went and I loved it, and here I am today. So with baptism, I think it's kind of like a fresh start. Honestly, you can't really do life by yourself because you need that strong foundation. And I think Christianity and living by the word of Jesus is the best route that anybody could take. I mean, you're waking up every day and you're being the best version of yourself, and you're just loving everybody around you, and that's what I want to do every day.
So I don't need to introduce this gentleman here. You've gotten a chance to see a glimpse of his story, and there's a lot more there to unpack. Bryce, as I was watching, you had family members and friends who were just jumping in and hugging you and seeing what has unfolded in your life. And you are loved, man. Not only by these people, but by an entire church. See, that's the beauty of story, is it gives us an opportunity, a glimpse into the humanity that we've all been there in one way, shape, or form. But it's the beauty of what God does. And listening to your words, man, as you unpack those and sharing about what God is doing in your life. Not what you have done, but what God has helped you through. I am so excited for what God is going to unleash in your life as you take these steps towards Him. For your family, for your loved ones, for our city and beyond. God has a greater story to tell in you. And I would just ask that you repeat that same confession of faith that so many have before you. I believe that Jesus is the Christ. The Son of the living God. And I accept Him as my Lord. And my Savior. Bryce, I promise I'm not going to drown you today. Hold you under a little longer. It is so encouraging to be able to be a part of this amazing day with your friends, family, and our church family. Bryce, I now baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.